What's up, guys? Welcome back to McWee's Movies. And before I get into this review, I'm reviewing Beetlejuice. But I would like to um talk about what the passing of James Earl Jones yesterday. He was 93 years old. If you guys don't know, he voiced Darth Vader, Mufasa. He was in Coming to America, Field of Dreams, and The Sandlot. Some iconic movies. From a person who grew up watching Star Wars and Lion King, loving The Sandlot, I've grown up hearing James Earl Jones' voice as Darth Vader my entire life, and I fell in love with Star Wars not only because of Darth Vader and James Earl Jones, but because I love the feeling of Star Wars, and I love the atmosphere of Star Wars. You know, sci-fi fantasy is amazing, and that I love it so much. And hearing him passing yesterday, it hit me differently because you know his voice of Darth Vader made chills go through all our bodies. No matter when you start watching Star Wars, if you're a new Star Wars fan, an old Star Wars fan, a vintage Star Wars fan, a classic Star Wars fan, it doesn't matter. We all grew up in some capacity with James Earl Jones as Darth Vader in our lives. And honestly, I'm gonna really miss hearing his voice as Darth Vader for years to come, and I'm going to definitely watch Star Wars pretty soon here to re-listen to his voice of Star Wars or Darth Vader because it's so captivating, it's so iconic, and it sucks that he was taken away from us. So I mean, he was 93 years old. He was gonna go eventually, but it's just the one person that I wanted to make it through 2024 was James Earl Jones, and unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I would like to send my thoughts and prayers to James Earl Jones' family, the Star Wars community, Disney, and the Disney community as we all mourn and grieve the loss of James Earl Jones. But remember, don't let them go from our hearts. Continue to watch Star Wars, continue to watch Field of Dreams and all the movies he was in, and continue to honor his legacy and honor him as an actor because that's what we need to do for James Earl Jones. We need to continue to watch his content and watch what he produced so we can continue to hear his voice as Darth Vader and other iconic roles. So that being said, let's jump into Beetlejuice, the legacy sequel of Beetlejuice from 36 years ago. And I say legacy sequel because there are movies that are sequels to legend and iconic movies that took too long to come out. And sometimes they are questionable, sometimes they are bad. But honestly speaking here, I had a blast. I had a fun time with this movie watching it on IMAX yesterday. I had a great time. The soundtrack was fun. The plot was fun. The atmosphere was fun. I loved it. I was loving every bit of it. And I'm really happy that Tim Burton gave us another good Beetlejuice installment after 36 years of the first one coming out. Because as you guys do know, Tim Burton with Beetlejuice didn't like using practical effects. So most of that stuff in the movie are either costumes or very limited practical effects and CGI because he wanted to make it more authentic. And he also said that he doubts there'll be a Beetlejuice 3 because he is 66 years old, and he did mention that by the time the new one, the Beetlejuice 3 would come out, he would be 100 years old, which tells me that we are probably not getting a third Beetlejuice movie, which I'm fine with. Because honestly speaking here, I think we're better off with Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice because they're two iconic movies that are going to be cult classics for years to come. With my kids and hopefully their kids and so on and so forth. Because Tim Burton is a great director and he's made some crazy movies. And obviously, he's big into stop motion with Corpse Bride, Coraline, Frankenweenie, and other things he's made that took a long time to make. So I'm not surprised that Beetlejuice took 36 years to come out because of how big of a budget it is to use very limited practical effects to make the movie more real, like with Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer and other movies that he does not use practical effects in, that he used dynamite and gasoline in Oppenheimer to make the nuclear explosions of the testing bombs we used on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So Tim Burton, I like Tim Burton. I like his movies, and I'm hoping that he either retires as a legendary director or he continues to make movies until he dies, because I feel like he is such a good director in making movies that hit, that are so fun and so fun to do. I have a couple problems with this movie though. The movie's Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice has like 20 minutes of screen time in the entire hour and 44 minutes of the movie. And it felt like in the first movie, he had the entire movie was just Beetlejuice screen time. But the sequel, it just felt like they planted so many plot seeds with Jenna Ortega's character and Delilah and Lydia Deetz, and just like they just had so many side plots that they just didn't focus on Beetlejuice for like the entire movie. Like I understand that we don't need to see Beetlejuice the whole movie, but if it's the title is Beetlejuice, and we don't talk about Beetlejuice or see Beetlejuice for most of the hour and 44 minutes I'm in my theater seat, then what is the concept of naming the movie after him if we barely see him in the entire movie? Don't get me wrong, I love Michael Keaton. You know, he great as Batman. He crushes Beetlejuice in the second one, as he did the first one. And it felt like the atmosphere of Beetlejuice wasn't there as much as the first one, which made the first one so iconic by seeing Beetlejuice most of the movie, um, in terms of plotline. Now, I love that they brought back most of the original cast from the first movie. Obviously, Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder. Obviously, some of the actors they didn't bring back from the first movie because of, other things that happened behind the scenes of Beetlejuice 1 with their personal lives that affected their acting career in terms of what happened after Beetlejuice. And I think they did it really well in terms of um, ending certain characters that were in the first movie because of, allegations or things like that that costed them their career in the future after Beetlejuice. And I like how when movies subtly kill off characters because of stuff like that, or because of the actor dying during filming or prior to filming the movie. We've seen it in movies like Glee and Riverdale and shows like that. That when actors die during filming or allegations happen that makes the director kill them off, it's very subtle and very in loops with the storyline, which I really like, because I feel like if a character dies prior to filming or during filming, it needs to be a subtle way to you know honor them while also adding to the plot of the movie. And so it's not like a write off of like, oh, this character died prior to filming, we don't care about them enough to honor them in the show. Prime example, Gotham Knights, the new video game came out. They honored Kevin Conroy with a tombstone grave in the game, because we know he did pass away last year, um, as the iconic voice of Batman in the games, in the animated series, and all over the place. So it's just, it makes me feel good that when actors die, um, you know, after filming, prior to filming, during filming, that they do honor them in certain ways. Either with other people, replacing them with other people, or just straight up killing them off in a very subtle and sad way, and then moving with the storyline. So I definitely did enjoy this movie a lot more. I really wish we saw more Beetlejuice, because I feel like there's missing the pizzazz and the humor of Beetlejuice. Because I felt like the first movie had a lot of Beetlejuice pizzazz and a lot of Beetlejuice fourth wall breaks and a lot of jokes from Beetlejuice that felt more real and felt more iconic than this movie. Now, I do like Jenna Ortega in this movie. I really do like her. She plays a very, um, not like very hmm, I don't know how to put it. I really like her character design. That she is trying to get out of the shadow of her mom, as her mom is seeing Beetlejuice and going insane, and she's trying to get out of the shadow of her mom, but the shadow of her mom looms over her the entire movie. Basically people know who her mom is based on rumors and stuff like that at her school, and it's just like people know her daughter because of her mom, and it's fascinating. I love it so much. So definitely go check out this movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 or a 4 stars. I definitely enjoyed this movie a lot more than most people would like this movie. Obviously, I'm a big lover of Beetlejuice. I love the first movie so much. I'm sorry this review is a lot longer than Romulo's one was. I didn't mean to make it this long, but I wanted to talk about James Earl Jones, and his unfortunate passing yesterday. That sent shockwaves through the cinema and movie worlds of Disney and Star Wars, which are now together. So, but I do recommend you guys see this movie, in IMAX or Dolby, or even just go to regular and see it in a regular setting. Definitely a fun time. Definitely a great movie. I loved it so much. Um, but that is it. So I will see you guys next time for another movie review, which is coming up very soon because I have to figure out what next movie I'm gonna watch. Because I think I'm gonna start to do reviews of major movies. We're also doing little updates of some other movies I'm watching, and my top 10 lists of the year, top 20 lists of the year, because they are coming together very slowly. But I will see you guys next time.